Hello, I'm Jaynee from Messages from Heaven by Jaynee on YouTube. I am also Jaynee from Spirits by Jaynee at gmail.com. Today I have something I haven't done before, and that is hopefully to have a group of people commenting and participating. Um, and the people are Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and I hope she's here, um, Dr. Martin Luther King, um, Eleanor Roosevelt, and Elle, who is a person from another, or a being from another planet. Are you here? I don't see the spirit. Sometimes I do, but not not like an apparition. Um, so let's see. My first question is your opinion of the present Supreme Court. Um, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, what is your opinion? She says, I hate them. Is that correct? Why do you say that? They shouldn't be there. And why do you say they shouldn't be there? She said if they were put there for the wrong reasons. I agree with you. Um, and what do you feel were the reasons? Oh, their political stances. Yeah, their political stances, she says. Dr. King, how do you feel about the present Supreme Court? They're horrible, they're bigots, and they want to turn the clock back to the 1800s. They have no business being on the Supreme Court. They are completely inappropriate. They were put there as stooges for evangelical Christians and and people who just wanted the evangelical votes. The the people who put them there couldn't care less about the rights that this court is stamping on, and they don't care about equality. The House is, he's showing me it's broken. It's laying on its side. I think he means, do you mean the Congress? Yes, it's been bought and it's broken. It needs complete rehabilitation. Trump is a criminal, but our government has been broken for a long, long time. It has never been right. He says it's never been what it's supposed to be, and it should have gradually worked up to that, especially after the Civil War, and it has not. People have blocked it. I don't, he says, I don't know what you do because they're they're here. I was going to ask about that. He says that, you have, I know a quarter of Americans are bigots. They voted for Trump. There are people who were standing out in, I think it was Virginia, waiting for John F. Kennedy Jr. to come back to life and do rescue them or something. Um, to a lot of people, what I'm doing is crazy, and I understand that. But standing on the street waiting for someone to come back to life is really crazy. I have to take a drink. Okay. Um, Mrs. Roosevelt Do you have anything? I can't see whether you're here or not. Are you here? Yes. Um, I know you haven't been here since the 50s or the 60s. 61? Okay, she says 61, 1961. I know I used to see her column. My mother was, um, as many Jewish mothers, and I shouldn't say just Jewish, many progressive liberal mothers would religiously read her column and were very devoted to you, Eleanor Roosevelt. Absolutely. My mother thought you almost walked on water. So, what do you think about the current, um, uh, I'm sorry, SCOTUS, Supreme Court? I'm shocked. She says, I'm shocked that it could be this bad. I am appalled at the dirty money, at I am appalled at what has transpired. I would never have expected us to fall so low. This is, you just don't get much worse than our current Supreme Court or Trump or his people. How, how in God's name, how did we get to this level? How could we have so many people in believing that a dead person was going to come back to life? And forget that, she says, she says, how could so many, what are we doing? Are we ignoring, is it that we are ignoring a lot of working people? Are we not responding to them? Our government is not responding. But if the working people are looking to put down people of color, that is not okay and it should not be done. Um, we are short, what do you call it? Short, we're, I, I hear what she's trying to say, but we are not funding services that are meant for people who are not not well moneyed, people who use mass transportation, short funded, schools short funded, um, the air quality, water quality, short funded, um, our our she's saying, the everything is costing too much. People can't afford it. Um, Old people can't afford their medication. I had one that was $500. $500. And I had to figure out what to do. Like, how do I handle this? Okay, so things things are people are companies are greedy. There is no excuse for the price of a lot of things. She was going to say bread. I thought she said bread, but a lot of things are not using oil. There's no excuse for oil to be this high anyway. Cars. Why are cars, she says, costing as much as a house used to cost? $66,000 for a car? Is it worth it? Why are we buying things like this? This is really crazy. She says, I watch what happens here on earth, but and I can't do anything, but this is I just thought people were smarter than this. I thought people I thought brains ran through all the stratas of people, not just wealthy people. Wealthy people should be paying their fair, fair taxes. They are getting away with murder, she says. They're putting money overseas She says, Trump has money everywhere. What? She says, you can tell all the things that he did that are so criminal. What did he bury in his golf place? What kind of stuff did he bury? Oh, she's funny. She's really. Um, he said his wife, his ex-wife, was in a little box. She she had ashes, and it's understood that her coffin was weighed way more than 100 pounds. I mean, it's a real heavy coffin, but she didn't weigh anything, and nobody is investigating what he buried. And then he took all those papers. That's Tuesday. Tuesday is 15 this month. She is a German Shepherd mix, and I think we're getting, if we get a delivery, what I'll do is stop this and I will come back and do part two. Um, okay, let me ask Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Um, Mrs. Roosevelt just said a lot, and it's really wonderful. What what do you have to say about anything? She said, "Well, I'm a lawyer, and I'm an American. I was an American. She says, I was a lot of things because we repeat." She says, "I don't like it." She says, "I'm glad I passed away before this, although Trump was in." She says, "I would not want to be here and see this. I would just be so, it's upsetting now, and I'm not physically with you. I feel terrible. I feel," she's saying she feels that she should have somehow been able to stay on the court because she would have helped. And she feels guilty. Don't feel guilty, please. You tried and you stayed for as long as you possibly could. Our bodies are vulnerable and we just don't have a choice. This, these bodies are not something that we can rule and tell what to do. Oh my God, she's asking what the pancakes are on my hat. They're just decorative. They don't want to know what the pancakes are. Well, I can't make pancakes right now because we're having a we're having a roof leak. I might have, but no. So I'm wearing them instead of cooking them. I don't like to anyway. Okay, so um uh I okay. Then my next question was, what would you do if you could, if you if you could vote on the Supreme Court, but you really said so. Um, Dr. King, what would you do if you could physically do something? He says, I would want to shoot them down. He says, I know that's not right, and I would not, but they shouldn't be where they are. SCOTUS shouldn't be there. Um, I know Biden is doing his best, but the government is riddled with Trump cronies and uh, people who have accepted dark money. They've they've been um, they've been um, changed by money from Russia, and although he's supposed to be Putin is supposed to be dying, um, Dr. King says he's still walking around. I don't see him being dead. I'd like to. Oh, Mrs. Um, I didn't ask the alien. Elle, what do you have to say? I'm sorry, I didn't. I skipped over you. He says it's Earth. He says, we used to be this way thousands of years ago, but we worked it out. He says, it'll take you a long time to change. He says, we stopped we stopped Putin from blowing up Ukraine because he wanted to blow it up. He figured if he couldn't have it, he was going to blow it up. Good guy. Um, he says Putin is, if you can imagine, he's even worse than Trump, but he owns Trump. He owns a lot of your legislators. You have been compromised. He says that's the word I was looking for before. Your government has been compromised. You may as well pay your taxes to Russia. Woo! Um, Eleanor Roosevelt, what do you say about that? Oh my God, she's holding her head and she's like this. Um, she says, Franklin would never have permitted this. It would never have gotten this far. I don't know. Well, she says, I liked, I loved the idea of Obama being in, but he was weak. He didn't he didn't inter, inter he didn't intervene when he should have. Some of these things, some of the violent um, rape should have been taken care of during Obama's term in office. There's no excuse for his having let it go by. She understands, but it was too easy for them. They they really did get away. She says the situation is multifaceted now. It might have been easy a long time ago. She says Clinton, I think she says Clinton had the right idea. Um, they should have been taken care of. The people there. She's saying there are so many, and they have different priorities. There are people in Idaho that want this, and then there are these working class people who just want to wreck the government. They want to burn it down, and they want it to be their way. And then you have the evangelical Christians who want a religious government, and they're getting it to a certain extent. She says that's going to be changed. That they will not get away with that. But unless you get rid of them, they'll still be there, and their children will be there, and their grandchildren, because they teach they teach their grandchildren what they believe, and it hasn't changed from her time. She says she likes she there are things that we've done that she likes. She likes the people being able to marry regardless if they're gay or there are transsexuals, and she feels they need to be protected because they are being killed. But at least generally there are no laws against them. There are laws against the kids because kids usually know when they're much younger if they're supposed to be the other sex. She says at least people are much more accepting. Um, People do not have to run away and hide. They still do, but they don't. The law isn't against them. They aren't going to be arrested for being gay. Yeah, I like that too. I it's important, and I celebrate gay people being able to adopt children. Um, I know of it, and I think it's wonderful. And children deserve loving parents. They don't care whether the parents are gay or straight or transsexual. They don't care about that either. Hold on, I have to say, I'm not sure I